With the new Metro finally on the way, I went back to replay Metro Exodus, and somehow, even after all these years, I was still discovering things I've never seen before. Hidden dialogues, alternate interactions, missable moments, entire details most players probably walk right past, so here are some of the coolest hidden details and secrets I could find in Metro Exodus. Starting with the very first level in Moscow. As soon as you go underground, you can find these pipes. If you stay close and listen, it immediately reminds you of the earlier games where Khan and Bourbon talked about how these aren't ordinary pipes and that you shouldn't listen to them for too long. Right after Artyom wakes up from the attack, a diary entry reveals his full name, Artyom Cherny. Cherny means black in Russian, along with his date of birth and blood type. It's likely not his original name, but some believe it was given to him by his stepfather. His blood type actually comes up again later in the finale when Katya mentions it. Later, when you sit with Anna on top of the ruined house, if you go downstairs you'll find an open elevator you can step into. If you interact with it 3 times or just jump 3 times, a skeleton will drop from the ceiling. And this won't be the last time something like this happens. When the train gets attacked and Artyom climbs on top of it, there's also an achievement tied to this moment, but if you interact near the doors between the train cars, you can actually detach the carriage behind you. Doing this twice triggers unique dialogues from the crew and unlocks the achievement. Arriving in Volga, your first mission takes you to the church when Anna is your sniper support. When she spots rabbits running across the field, she mentions them, and if you actually shoot one, she comments on it. Dumbass. Probably as a reference, as she used to call him Rabbit as well. Later, when you return to the Aurora, a scripted event happens that only occurs once in the entire game. A demon attacks the train, and right before diving into the water. This is also when you can spot the church bell in the distance, and if you shoot it, it rings no matter where you are. On your second mission to meet Crest, inside a tunnel, if you go all the way to the right, you'll find the red-eyed rabbit. If you approach it closely, it runs away while making a disturbing sound like a demon. This moment also doesn't seem to repeat. Before reaching Crest, you might notice humanimals sleeping standing up. If you sneak behind them, you can actually take them down just like any other human NPC. When Crest offers you his binoculars, you can actually ignore him and go down the ladder. This triggers hidden dialogue and a reaction from him.
Hey, where you going? Look, you don't want to hear it? Fine by me, just tell me.
But you won't be able to leave until you accept them for the second time. At night in the Volga, there are electrical anomalies. If you stand on the same train track as them, you can actually sometimes get shocked. They cannot be destroyed, but there is a location where a ritual-like event takes place and it doesn't seem to reach you, and later it just explodes. One more thing I had to test out, and it took me way too long, but I wanted to see what happens if you don't get Stefan his guitar from the Bandit Tower. And it turns out the only difference is that you can't join him playing music later, the scripted train scene still happens, the wedding still happens, almost everything remains unchanged. If you do pick it up but never give it to him, you can still play it later, but you're probably not gonna get the achievement. In the Caspian, as soon as you get off the train, Tokarev is gonna be at the back of it and he will introduce you to a new type of rounds for the Tihar. Extremely effective against humanimals, spiders and any other enemy you might face. It doesn't matter where you aim, they will likely die from one bullet, and yes, again, they are expensive, but they are worth it if you're struggling to kill those. Early on, you're set to retrieve a car. After meeting the owner, which is Sol, whether you spare him or not, you can actually encounter him again later in a hidden interaction. After grabbing a car, if you turn to the new base instead of going to the lighthouse, you can spot Nastya outside playing and singing. It's a small moment, but it adds a bit of life to otherwise harsh environments. Over on this location, you might meet someone who sounds and looks exactly like the Baron. Once you meet him, he will act as the Baron, but if you hit him once, he will confess he's just a double and is part of Sol's plan. Later, after the lighthouse section, you can find a specific safe house. If you take a nap there, Sol eventually appears and reveals his plan. Even if you didn't spare him earlier, the same idea still gets explained, just through a different character. Demons in the Caspian can also behave unexpectedly. If they spot you while you're driving, they can sometimes grab you directly from your vehicle. It's rare, but it does happen. They also hit your car while you're driving if you aggro them before. Arson is the guy that is surrounded and you cannot save no matter what you do. Once you climb the ladder, you hear a gunshot, and then he dies. But if you're wearing the motion sensor upgrade, you still get a detection from him. This might be a bug, but there's also a theory he might still be alive. When you meet the mirror, there's a hidden weapon in a toilet. Flushing it makes it drop. Once you go to the tunnel, there are geysers you can shoot that can damage the enemies, but you can also just rush through the area entirely and skip it. After exiting the tunnel, you might see someone climbing the water bucket elevator. This is a hint that you can do it too, and it leads to an achievement being unlocked and a small cutscene with the mirror. After being knocked off the track in Taiga, you meet a bandit being attacked by a wolf. You can save him, he's not exactly a good person, but doing so gives you good karma. Later, you can meet him once again by the shore, where he's going to recognize you, offer you a drink or what's left of it. There's a joke that only works in the Russian dialogue. A crow is being taught to say "Kto tam?" meaning who's there, referencing an old Russian cartoon where the crow keeps repeating it over and over again. In English, it just says hello. After you knock out the guy, the crow will actually speak properly for the first time. Later, after your first encounter with a bear, you meet Olga once again. If you choose to sit down after she tells you where to go next, it triggers one of the longest dialogues in the game, around 7 minutes total, explaining the history of the area in detail. While you're on the train, you can interact with the radio. It reveals details about upcoming locations, past events, and even broadcasts from other stations, including music. On the Ottoman level specifically, you can catch a frequency of Kirill trying to reach his father with no response.
Dad, please, come in, over.
If you do catch him on a frequency during the Caspian, you might hear him talk to his father when he was still alive. If you step outside the train, you can actually spot a dog on the left side and a person waiting near the tracks on the right. When you reach Novosibirsk, before getting into the car with Miller, you can actually walk all the way back to the crew. It takes a while, especially with everyone wishing you good luck over and over again, but if you stick with it, you eventually catch Stefan and Idiot having a quiet conversation about how dangerous the mission ahead really is. In the Dead City, there are a lot of hidden details, but one I only recently discovered is another elevator interaction. Just like earlier in the video, if you step inside 3 times, ammo drops from the ceiling. It's strange, especially since most players are focused on surviving the radiation and rushing through this level, since it's so tense. There's a small comparison I wanted to make between the Dead City level and the 2 Colonels DLC. For example, going back into the same tunnels shows similar details. The same tank that we've seen pull up and then later explode, still there pretty much in the same positions, and even 2 soldiers laying in nearly the identical position here as well. The creepiest moment is saved for last. During Sam Stories DLC, if you approach a school by boat, you might notice someone at the window. Zoom in and you'll see a little girl, a ghost who will walk away as soon as you get close. This is actually part of some cut content in the game where a different cutscene inside the school was originally planned. Another interesting detail is that you can actually spot her as soon as you meet the captain while he's giving you a tour from the very top of the area. There are definitely more hidden moments throughout the Metro games, but many of them are already well known. Still, the level of detail in this game is honestly impressive, and with the new game on the horizon, I can't wait to see where the story goes next, who will we fight, and how will everything evolve. If you do enjoy this video, let me know in the comments, and if I missed anything, let me know as well.